Did you molest Denise?
No.
What about Pamby?
No.
When I was 3, that's when he started with his penis, yes.
I read how you'd bring them into your bedroom, ask them to rub your back. You wore no clothes in bed. Then you'd have them lie next to you and you would molest them.
Bringing me into the bedroom and saying, you know, you're gonna rub my neck and you're gonna rub my back and you're gonna rub me, you know.
Nobody can hear you scream. Nobody can hear you cry.
You don't remember molesting Janice?
It did lead into some type of sucking his dick or something. I'm not, you know.
June and Jerry?
No, goddammit.
He touched me, fondled me, and told me, don't you tell your mom.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that happen here.
Why did you do that?
I didn't do that, son of a bitch. Now shut it up. Now.
It's time to weep, time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance.
I didn't even know what fucking was in the 2nd grade. And nobody said not to do it or not to fuck your cousin. Our parents were in the front of the mobile home playing cards, and we were in the back bedroom. She lost her virginity when she was 4 years old. But it didn't start with us, and it didn't start with our parents. It started with our grandparents a long, long time ago. I decided to go back home and put the pieces of a long-forgotten puzzle together for the first time. What was Grandma's personality like back then?
She was cold. I can remember her and Dad would get ready to go out, and remember, she'd have her fingernails done and her hair done.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And it was like, don't touch Mom. Don't mess up her hair. Stay away.
Till she had a few drinks, then she's happy-go-lucky.
Right.
She never wore panties. She'd stand in the front yard, spread her legs, and pee. That's our mother. Real class act.
How many times have you been married?
5. But only 4 different guys.
And your first husband was?
Elmer.
And you had how many kids with him? Who were they?
The oldest 4. Twins. Ann and Jim.
Earliest memories would be living out in Hinsville, and had a creek ran through. When the rains came, we was out there playing with little boats and making different channels and stuff like that.
Well, my earliest memory is probably when I was about 2 or 3 years old. We lived out in the country. Down the country road was a mom and pop store and gas station and stuff, and I remember hopping on my little tricycle to go down there and see my friend, and my mother came after me with a willow switch and switched me all the way home.
We had to all work the berry fields. Your mother was out there. Jim didn't do much but play around in the ditches, but we picked berries all summer in order to make money. And that's where we're going to get our new school clothes, shoes, the whole works. They had an old chicken house or something there. So in our off time out of the fields, we went over and cleaned this chicken house up. And we literally wrote our own script for a little play.
Did a theater thing. That's
we
right.
convinced all of the adults there to come and see this play. We put on a show for them. So I knew entertainment was my line.
They were all good kids. And Elmer was mean to them when they were little. I didn't really approve of his bringing up.
Mom had a contest with the guys one night, out drinking. I don't know if you heard about this.
I didn't hear about this.
She bet she could pee higher than they could. And so they're ready to have this contest. She says, no hands. And she won, and she bragged about that. And her big thrill was to hide the guy's undershorts, stuff them under the car, the seat, whatever, so whenever they were finished, they couldn't find them. And she brought them home. She had all sizes, okay? I'm 13 years old, and I'm saying, what's going on here?
Undershorts, men's jockey shorts in the car. I remember that. We lived behind the Pedelweiser Tavern.
Right.
Mom decided she was going to leave Dad. It only took 3 months to get a divorce back then. And like the day or two after the divorce was final, she married Melvin Just, and she was already a month pregnant.
And then you married?
Just.
That was Melvin Just. So he became the stepfather of?
He was the stepfather of myself, the twins, and Uncle Jim.
Now, Grandpa Just was your stepfather for how many years?
Quite a few years.
Well over a decade.
Oh, yeah.
And there was also comments, well, he's not marrying our mother, he's marrying her because she has 3 young daughters.
I was 12 years old at the time they were married. And it just totally just destroyed our lives.
What was Grandpa Just's personality like?
Oh, he was a real sweetheart, very caring person.
As far as I could tell, they were happy. So, I mean, I never saw them beaten on or anything like that.
I was a punch bag to them.
Do you remember my mother? Anna Marie?
Oh, yeah.
What do you remember about her?
She was a nice little girl. Just a cute little girl.
One night, they come home drinking, and he was just literally beating the hell out of her. She's down on the floor. She had long hair, and he's dragging her across the floor, saying he was going to take her out and run over with a car. And I ran in his closet and got his 12-gauge shotgun and pulled the trigger. It just clicked because it wasn't loaded. And he saw me and come across the room and threw me.
You put your hands down my mother's panties. She tried to shoot you with a gun.
And then I just went running out the house and down the road.
You were beating my grandma. She pulled a rifle out and tried to shoot you.
Stayed there a couple
But the gun was not loaded. So he knew you tried to kill him. How did he treat you?
He always treated me good. I got a brand new bicycle for my 13th birthday, brand new Schwinn. I think we were on welfare. You know, he was still after me.
That guy could fix any damn thing from a roller skate to an earth mover. He was probably the sharpest guy with a wrench I've ever seen.
What was life like then?
Pretty mixed up, pretty confusing.
And just kind of punched around and found a break in, you know, the old style batteries. Found a break. Put a couple screws in there, jumped up in that thing and started it up. 2 screws and the damn thing was running.
He didn't belong in our family, and there was nothing us kids could do about it.
He took the engine out of the Bonneville, adapted everything over and put it in that Plymouth. That was the hottest little car I ever seen.
I mean, a guy will take 2 cats and tie their tails together and let them fight over a clothesline until one of them's dead. That's the character he had.
I always had to make his lunch. And he always wanted, you know, like 2 bologna sandwiches and this and that. I used to inevitably leave the foil on the bologna, you know, that said the name of it. He'd come home and I'd, damn you, Jim, you did it again.
We'd heard rumors of things that he'd done, but nothing ever pinpointed down, and no one wanted to believe it, especially not our mother.
He murdered the county nurse out here on Highway 36. Everybody knows it.
Which kids did Grandma and Grandpa Just have together?
They had June and Jerry Joy, and they were about 2 years apart.
So they're your half-sisters.
Mm-hmm.
June and Jerry both were too much alcoholics. They're like I was when I was younger.
You know, I go to bed drinking, and as soon as I wake up, say 3 in the morning, it's time for a beer and a cigarette. Go to sleep, wake up about 5, 6, it's time for a beer and a cigarette, and when I'm up at 8 for the rest of the day, I'm drinking then.
Are you an alcoholic?
No, I don't have to go to meetings, but yeah, actually, yes, I am.
Are you addicted to drugs?
No.
Have you been in the past?
Yes, lots, for a long time. I used to sell drugs. I made my living selling drugs.
I can't even look at my own 2 little sisters knowing he destroyed them. June and Jerry, he destroyed them. And my mother went along with it.
So you've been watching Grandma get progressively less enthused about living.
I got to where I couldn't eat, I couldn't walk, I couldn't even get around in the wheelchair.
I've been here for Mom ever since I moved back into this area 10 years ago.
My brother, I dislike him for what he's doing to my mom.
What is his profession now?
In home care.
I've actually pulled 3 of her teeth. You talk about a gutsy gal.
How did you pull them?
Pliers.
Sorry, guys.
She'd sit there in the doorway, and I'd take a pair of pliers and yank them out. There's one of them I had to try 3 times. It was evidently went up and curved. The 3rd time I tried it, I went ahead and did a little bit of a twist on it, and it came out. See that gal cry.
Well, Mama's upset because Uncle Jim is still letting you drink a lot of beer. And
6 beers, she's wasted.
Does Uncle Jim drink with her?
Yep.
Does he buy her the beer?
Yep.
I enjoy my beer.
And we talked to the doctor, and if she eats right, he's going to permit her to have that beer.
The doctor told me I could, and I think he knows better than Ann does. He told Jim if she wants 2 or 3 beers before she goes to bed, it's all right, let her have them. Can't take everything away from her.
That's if she'll eat 50% of her supper meal.
She gets
then
that
she
beer.
gets that as a reward. So it's psychology, you know.
I'll tell you what, the reason she's alive right now is because the twins came. That kind of gave her the will.
There's a tear in your beer, 'cause I'm crying for you, dear. You were always on my mind. Into these last few beers, I've shed a million.
You don't think it's the drinking that is doing Grandma in right now?
No. I think that's one thing that's keeping her going. I weighed her night before last. She had 16 ounces of beer before she went to bed. She weighed 72 pounds. You take away 16 ounces of beer, she's back down to 71 pounds.
She'd be up to 85 if you pumped her with 10 more pounds of beer.
She can't handle 10 pounds of beer.
How is Uncle Jim now?
Huh?
How is Uncle Jim now?
How is he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You know, he propositioned Jerry, when she's totally down and out, to come and live with him, and he'll take care of her, but to be his wife, to live as a couple.
Sexual satisfaction is the way he put it.
The only reason I did it is because I don't like being alone. Jerry has not had a home in years.
He wanted me to live with him and sleep with him.
I'm like, Jerry, come and be with me. Make something of yourself. I will help you. She gave it some thought.
And you do. Oh.
Why do you think she'd have a problem basically being your wife?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Oh, he likes tough shit. I think he's sick because he's trying to get me, and I think that's sick. I think he's sick.
I hadn't seen him for a long time. When I was living up in Washington, he came and he seen me, and we went for a walk out in the apple orchard because I was working at an apple orchard, and he grabbed my boob.
I think two consenting adults, whatever they deem is right, is right. You know, to hell with what the rest. There's having sex with your daughter ain't right, but there's a lot of guys that do it.
I went like that and just said, knock it off, and I headed back to the house.
To kill someone, that's definitely wrong. But to have sex with a stepsister, I don't see where that is all that wrong.
Well, half-sister. You have the same mother.
Okay.
What advice did you give Jerry?
I just told her, I said, well, it's up to you.
How do you feel about him now?
I won't put myself in a position to be alone with him. For nothing, nowhere.
What did you say to him?
I told him, no, I can't do this, Jim. You're my brother. I can't live with you. I can't sleep with you. You're my brother, don't you get it? So?
I was 5 years old when one of my uncles molested me. We were down in the basement of our house where my mom made apple jelly. It was really dark. He was already hard when he unzipped his pants and pulled out his penis and asked me to play with it. I just did what he said. I was curious about everything. Why not a grown-up's penis? It wasn't sexual to me, it was sexual to him. I was just a little kid.
Since Uncle Jim was abused as a kid by Grandpa Just, his stepfather, I asked him about their relationship back then.
Well, as far as Melvin was concerned, I couldn't do nothing right.
Mom and him came in. I was asleep. It was a pallet on the floor, and it's supposed to be me, Mom, and then Melvin. And that guy somehow had her drunk enough that he ended up in the middle. And he woke me up with his hands down my clothes and all over. And then I got up out of bed screaming and saying, Mom, what's going on here? And he acted like he was half asleep and said, nothing's going on. And she says, what's wrong with you? You get back in the bed. I says, no way. I went over and got in the corner.
Well, I don't like to say it here, but he was a child molester. Kids all know it. That's what he was.
He tried to take my younger sister into a bedroom. I knew what was going on.
Which one?
Ann.
My mom.
Yeah.
Your Aunt Jean and Aunt Jan and I were rehearsing for a song we were going to sing the next day in Sunday school. Mom was out drinking. He had come home and went to bed. And pretty soon he hollers, Anna Marie. And he hollered 2 or 3 times. And I went to his bedroom door. And he said, get over here. He pulled me down on top of him.
I thought that might be the end of it. Wasn't that lucky.
I went in and went to bed. And pretty soon Melvin came in and got in bed. And within a couple minutes, he's reaching over and putting his hands in my pajamas, down into my panties.
My mom's been suicidal my whole life. I used to pretend over and over in my head that she was dead. So if it actually happened, I wouldn't freak out and just lose it.
One of the last calls, in fact, the last call I guess I had from her about committing suicide, she was in the bathtub, had already sliced her wrists.
There's been more than one time when I did try to commit suicide.
How?
Overdosing on pills. I slashed my wrists and then got into a warm bathtub.
I mean, I've been on the phone with her for long enough for her to bleed to death. And she was making sure to keep the water warm, just to make her bleed faster.
Have you attempted suicide?
Twice. And then once I was overwhelmed again, but I pulled a shotgun out and was going to shoot myself.
I remember stretching backstage at this dance competition. I got a call that my mom had hooked a hose up to her exhaust pipe and fed it through the window of her convertible.
I hooked a hose up to my car.
I called the paramedics and just went out on stage.
Our champions hail from Los Angeles. Sally Dewhurst, who hosts her own music video show in London, England, and James Whitney, who is a Chippendales dancer. Going for a third victory this evening. Welcome, James and Sally.
Oh, Jimmy, can't we do the dance just one more time?
I sat there, concentrating on the routine, and acted as though nothing happened. Grandpa Just destroyed my family and almost destroyed my mom.
And all that jazz.
When I'm finished with him, he'll either be in jail or he'll be dead. That's a promise. We can't just sit back and act like we're victims or we become the losers. It's all about finding a way to survive.
If your mom kills herself, shame on her. But you can't let it destroy you. Talk about it, get angry about it, do whatever you've got to do, but don't give up.
When I decided I better stop this stuff is when you came in the hospital room one time. You were in college. And you were so mad at me. You were so mad.
Even when my mom cries, it's hard for me to go up and just put my arms around her.
How could you do this? I wasn't doing something to you. I didn't mean to be doing it to you.
When things get heavy, I'd rather sit down at the keyboards and write a song and just deal with it through music. The more my family told me, the heavier things got. I was determined to keep my promise.
Well, for some reason, Melvin and myself and the kids went to Washington State. He got tired the one evening. He took the two little girls in the back. And I remember the truck rocking. And I had a piece of sand in my eye. I guess you know how irritating that is. There's no way that I could sleep. And I kind of yelled at him, you know, thinking that maybe he'd get the sand out of my eye. He's like, shut up and go to sleep. I don't want to hear another word out of you. I think I was 15 at the time. But just, you know, the motion of the truck and everything, you could tell what was going on.
Did you ever tell the authorities what he was doing?
Yeah, but they couldn't prove nothing.
But you still stayed with them?
For a while, yeah.
Did you ever say anything to him?
What the hell could I say?
When June was 2 years old is when I walked in and found him molesting her in bed.
I had already told you part of this, though, that I suspected what was going on. Mom would get up and act like she's going to fix the bottle, and then she would take June out of bed, take her diaper off, and put her in bed with Melvin. He made it a point to let everybody know he slept in the nude.
There's all kinds of things that happen here.
Which of the kids were you closest to?
June, I guess.
June is kind of your favorite?
Yeah.
You know, my mother actually walked in on the two of you when he was molesting you. Is it because you block all of this out that you don't recall?
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
Do you remember giving Jerry and her friends tampons to have sex with them?
No.
Tampons. I mean, that was a good one for him when we got on the rag. It wasn't even buy us tampons unless he could do something or something. Whoa, wait a minute, that's not too good. That's sick.
I've always been very close with June and Jerry, and even though they're intelligent, their lives are pretty messed up. My mom has a very high IQ and survived by learning about these psychos. Even to this day, she reads about Ted Kaczynski, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Helter Skelter was unbelievable. Anne Rule, The Stranger Beside Me, Ted Bundy. There was Norman Mailer wrote the Executioner's Song.
What is your IQ?
Well, the last time we checked, it was 160, and yours was 158. And you've been competing with me ever since, but that's how I raised you, to be competitive.
My mom never gave up, and she raised me not to give up. I wanted to do whatever I could to help her with the past, so I just kept on trying to learn all the different pieces of the puzzle.
Some great dancing going on out there from both teams. Now for our returning champion. The judges give James and Sally 3 3/4 stars. Cindy and Anthony.
When we would watch game shows, we didn't watch game shows. We competed with these game shows, which, you know, that paid off for you because later you went on a couple of game shows.
I'm congratulating you two once again. That's very fun.
And you made a lot of money doing that.
Morning. Alarm clock.
Yes, 1 down, 2 to go.
Okay. You're handcuffed.
2 down and 1 to go.
Okay. You're digging, shoveling, spade, pile, a hole.
Got it.
I moved on to the next competition, and Grandpa Just moved on to his next family.
My dad left my mom for Venice, and that is a fact.
He left Mom for Venice Benson, who lived down the road, who had a bunch of little girls. And he ended up with her and those little girls, and he molested every one of them.
And the reason he left my mom for Venice is because she had all those young daughters.
There was a time when all of you lived together.
Yeah.
Who shared rooms with whom?
We all shared a room at least once or twice during a month. Practically no, you know.
When you had your bed.
One minute we were pissed off at this girl, and one minute we were pissed off at that girl, so we were moving beds periodically.
Denise was Melvin's second wife. After you?
Yeah. She's still with him.
What was Denise like?
She was an okay mom, but she was ignorant. She was like my mom. Oh no, he wouldn't be doing that.
She talking to me on the phone one time about he was more than she could take care of. I says, well, you wanted him, baby, take care of him. And she said, well, if I just had a little help now and then. I said, well, I didn't have any help with the bastard.
I don't think I was that blind, but maybe I was. But I was there constantly. I wasn't out and about drinking or anything. I was there all the time with my kids. Andy was born in '60. Denise was born in '62.
What's your relationship like with Venice now?
Right now, beyond.
Bobby was born in '65.
Oh yeah, I knew. She just played it off like it was normal routine.
And then I got with Mel, Grandpa.
That was Grandpa.
I had Janice in '79.
Did you tell her? Did you tell her what happened?
Oh yeah, we all did. All of us did. I mean, you know. 3 times I came to her. No, I just said, Mom, I'm feeling like it's my fault, and like you're all mad at me. And she said, hey, is it your fault? I said, no, Mom. Straight up.
Although I believed what my aunts told me, Venice denied that they ever talked to her about the abuse. Who are your real sisters and who are your half-sisters?
I've got so many to count.
Mel is my dad, her dad, and June's dad.
Right, it's my mom. She was barefoot and pregnant when she had Pamby.
His natural children that he fathered is June and Jerry Joy with my mother, and Janice with Venice Benson, Those are his natural children. As far as stepchildren, there's your Aunt Jan and Aunt Jane, the twins. Myself. Your Uncle Jim. We were his first stepchildren. When he left my mother and went with Denise, the stepchildren would have been Pamby, Denise, and Bobby would have been his stepdaughters.
But this is where I live. This here was given to me, this camper. I mean, it's pretty trash, but it was given to me from a friend of mine. And that's my refrigerator. Oh, you want to see my fridge?
I live in the back of a Nissan pickup. There's only room enough for a bed. And I have my dog, my 2 cats, and my boyfriend. And anything we have to keep with us is right there beside us. We sleep with it.
And look at my freezer, hey. This is for the 4th of July.
What are those?
Vodka cherries.
You mean you'd have cleaned it up if you had known we were coming, right?
No. Well, we're coming to my house now. And this is where I live. Come on in. Oh, want me to turn on more lights?
There you go.
It's the 2 of you here.
And the dog.
Grew up around a junkyard. I do have brain damage. Falling out of trees, you know, just bumping my head too many times.
Who taught you how to walk?
The Shriners did.
Did your mother teach you?
No. I taught her with a stroller. She had to push the stroller. The kids would pull it and make her walk. She didn't like that. Well, then she got to move it around, and then we lost it.
What exactly are you diagnosed with?
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
She was born congenital, no hip sockets, no knee joint, and a club foot, which sounds worse than what it is. And then they tried to tell me she was retarded. Well, she isn't retarded, she's slow. Have you seen those kind of people? But my daughter had this attitude that, yay, look at me. I'm going to get attention by preying on this. She had everybody buffaloed but her mother.
So how far back do you remember? What age?
Age of 5.
Where were you living? Who was raising you?
Denise and Melvin.
It started when I was 2. I was 2 years old and he started molesting me. And then it ended when I was 8, 78. Sick man.
He started to molest me at the age of 5. He started doing sex with me, like trying to put his, you know what, inside of me. I was too small.
When I was 3, that's when he started with his penis, yes. Oh, twisting. Doing the twist and shout, you know? Who could do the twist? And I did the twist, and shoot, I won 25 cents, oh yay.
If he got it a quarter of the way inside of me, I would get paid a quarter, or half a way, 50 cents. The full way was $1.
What if you just said no?
He wouldn't listen to the word no. He didn't like the word no.
Twisting. Doing the twist and shout. Every time I turned around, I was gonna get molested, get poked by the rod, you know, by the cock, as you might call it, the prick.
I didn't like the smell.
And he was dirty, he was never clean. He never wore shorts.
He had an awful odor.
I mean, I don't wear any sometimes either, but At least I'm clean.
He didn't take a shower.
You gave her a quarter if you were allowed to go a quarter of the way in.
Who could do the twist?
50 cents, halfway.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah, you can put some like over here on this side because it's all good. He abused my rights as an adult, as a child, as an infant.
What was the worst crime he did in your mind?
Murder.
Have you ever strangled anybody?
I heard that I shot her. Bang.
Well, they got proof of it now, but they won't bring him down here.
No. They have tried to say that over the years because somebody started the rumor that he did that.
Do you remember when I went to visit Grandma and went over to Grandpa Just's? Was this at the same time that was going on?
Well, he and Mom were already separated. And I had let you go spend 4 or 5 days. And the first thing she did is took you out, loaded you all in the car and took you down to Melvin Just.
Knowing that he's a child molester, why would you have taken me over there? Did you trust him?
At that time, yes.
You want to go see your grandpa? My own mother did that to me.
But she knew he was molesting the kids.
At that time, no, I didn't know it for sure.
When I was in a little stroller, going over to Faye's house.
Bobby recalled when she was in a little stroller, Grandpa Just would drive in, and you had warned Bobby to act like she was asleep. What was that all about?
He was molesting her.
At what age?
She wasn't very old.
When he was having sex with me one time, he had both of his legs, one leg on each leg. I told him he was crushing him. He didn't listen, as long as he got what he wanted.
Then the nightmares and him breathing on me and knowing that he's going to carry me into the bedroom and do the whole 9 yards. You know, as a child, bringing me into the bedroom and saying, you know, you're going to rub my neck and you're going to rub my back and you're going to rub me, you know.
Yeah, it did lead into some type of sucking his dick or something. I'm not, you know, I'm pretty foggy when it comes to living in that house. Ron, I was only 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. All those years.
He would put the Bengay on his penis and stick it inside of me. So I still got the scar inside of me, burn scar.
First it started out as color crayons. How many color crayons you can use. To penetrate up inside you without it hurting. And then once when you get up to 4 or 5, let me know. Which colors were they? Then it was all about hot dogs. Not the hot dogs you buy in the store, but those are the links. If you can stick one of those up in you, at least halfway, let me know.
Why would you tell him when you could?
I didn't know no better. I thought it was the thing to do, that everybody's parents did that. He says, well, I'll tell you what. This is how it is. He says, I fuck my sister fucks my dad fucks my mom, and my mom fucks the mailman that ran over my fucking frog.
It was always me by myself whenever he decided to take me someplace. Either to the dump or, it was mainly to the dump.
Prostitution. Oh, okay, well, we were out in the dumps.
Where nobody could hear you scream, nobody could hear you cry. It hurts.
But then we'd meet somebody on the way back, and he would exchange cash or whatever, and said, now you got to go down here and please him. Either give him a head job or spread your legs. And you better be nice, because if you ain't nice, I'm gonna take it out on you later. He got money. Lots of money. Took pictures. He even took pictures. That's sick. He told me to be experimental. And who I experimented on was Jerry. And she really liked it. She got stuff all over my face. I think every sister experiences, but from what I see, no, they don't.
I was walking down the beach, and I started back, and there was this truck coming, and it was dark. And I seen these headlights coming.
I had all kinds of different pills, codeines and Valiums and all kinds of downers.
What's your relationship like with June?
June ended up using me and telling me it was okay, and
She was molesting you.
yeah.
But these pills were taking effect, and I never told anybody I took them.
And I just was walking like it nonchalantly, and when it got close enough, I stepped right out in front of it.
Tried slicing my wrists a couple times.
I tried to commit suicide at the age of 16, too. I tried to try to drown myself.
Taking my car, going up to the mountains and wanting to drive it off the side, you know. I mean.
How did you try to drown yourself?
By walking through water, and then it got deeper and deeper. I walked in with my braces on.
And with all of the girls, this is what's happened to them. Things become so overwhelming, you just want out, or you want help. And you can't get out, and you can't get help. And look where they are today.
I tried to OD on cough syrup and beer. And I had to have mouth-to-mouth. An ambulance came in.
It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And what can I do? I'm going to do something.
We both said we'd do something, but we didn't know what to do.
Here are Morgan Sandberg and Ron Whitney.
Mom kept attempting suicide. I kept competing in dance contests and game shows. We did rent a motorhome and went to visit everybody. Life just went on. Grandma and Venice kept denying everything. And Grandpa Just kept on molesting the kids, over and over and over.
Please let this be over. Let this be done. Quit doing this to me.
Janice is your own child.
Really?
And at age 2, you began molesting her.
Really? Come on now.
Other little nigger boy says, or black boy says, you see that white Cadillac over there? I wish I could have a white Cadillac like that. The other little black boy says, not me, you know what I wish? I wish I had hair all over my body. All over my body. And they go, what, hair all over your body? Yeah, my sister got a patch this big. She owned both them Cadillacs.
Do you remember when I came to visit you on Morgan Road?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, we took a little trip up there. Remember, we rented a motorhome, and off we went. And of course, we had to stop and see them. I mean, they're family.
That's when I was 16.
You're beautiful.
We danced, and I got the hots for you, and you knew it. I know you knew it. And I was flirting along, and all of a sudden you said, no.
You're 16.
We can't have anything together until you get some hair. I said, hell, I ain't got none of these yet.
I know my family's not exactly normal. I'm not even sure what normal's supposed to be. I've had no kids, but raised 3 monkeys. My wedding was a lot of fun, but it wasn't traditional or emotional.
I hate you.
We've had some pretty lousy experiences, but we've never lost our sense of humor. And it's okay that not everybody gets it.
You're 16, you're beautiful, and you're mine. Oh, well, you're my baby, you're my pet. We fell in love on the night we met. You touched my heart went pop. Ooh, when we kissed, we could not stop. You walked out of my dreams, into my heart. You're 16.
I have some for Aunt. Look, I got boobs now.
Train up a child in the way she should go, and when they are old, they will not turn from it.
How do you feel about Janice?
Janice? She's my sister. I love her, but I worry about her.
Why?
For what she's doing to the kids and what she's gonna introduce her kids to. Prostitution, criminals.
What do you mean?
Drug addicts. What do I mean? Looking at her. I mean, you look at her. So maybe if she don't get a piece of ass, maybe, you know, when Frankie gets a little older, you know, hey, get in here, boy. I'm talking to you.
What about Clarissa?
Clarissa. I'm hoping she's smarter.
Clarissa, come here, baby. Kim Mama love it. She hates it, embarrasses her. Turn red. This is her straight A student, Clarissa. Don't be embarrassed now.
Cycles of abuse tend to continue. Did that happen with Clarissa, with Frankie?
No.
I got molested when I was 7, and I felt like it was my fault. I did something bad, but I thought that I deserved it, and it was a punishment. This is like the only really bad dream that I get scared. It's this rope, and it comes closer and closer, and I don't know what it means, but I don't have him anymore.
Where are you standing?
I'm standing on the other side of the room.
And the rope is coming directly at you?
Yeah.
Do you feel safe in life in general now?
Yeah.
Who makes you feel safe?
My mom, my brother sometimes. He can be a real brat. And Reggie, my mom's boyfriend.
Are you close with Grandpa Just?
Sort of. I don't see him much anymore.
How do you feel when you go around him?
I feel sad.
But you know he's a child molester, and you know what he did to your mom. Why would you want to feel close with him?
Because I will always love him, but he won't be forgiven. But he's part of a family.
Years ago, when she was just a girl, Aunt June warned the police about Grandpa Just.
My dad had a thing of Vaseline and a hot dog for a dog to play with. And I went and got all that stuff out of there and gave it to the police. But my little sisters would not talk about it. The cops went up to the school and everything. But they wouldn't say nothing. The kids wouldn't say nothing. So they didn't do nothing to him about it.
In 1980, my aunts were finally willing to testify. Grandpa Just was arrested.
He was charged with 12 counts of child molestation.
So you and Jerry got on the stand.
Yeah.
And told...
They had us draw a picture of a penis. And I did.
It was crowded. I felt all alone. Even God wasn't even with me. Those evil eyes, those looks. I tried not to look at him because it went to grand jury. I tried to look at the juror. I couldn't even do that.
He was found guilty and given 13 years, and he served 8.
When they took him away, the family felt like somebody finally listened to what they had to say.
A ton of bricks instantly just like flew off my shoulders. I was free.
When did he go to jail? Oh, in about 1980, because he was in for 8 years and he got out in 88. Look at all those years, all those kids.
And here he only got 8 years. You know, and inside you just want to take that machine gun and just cut him right in half, you know? And then he turns around and tells the court that he's intimate, he can't fucking get it up. Excuse me? Yeah, excuse me? Oh, yeah, your mom, she's no good. Mm-hmm. Well, then you're the best. Yeah, yeah.
The most disgusting human being God ever created, and he taught me to hate.
Where did you say you grew up?
I grew up right here. No place else, right here.
How long did you live here?
Oh, about 30 years.
Do you have a birthday coming up?
No, I just had one.
That's what it was. And Father's Day was last week.
Yeah.
Did anybody come and visit you?
Oh. God damn it.
Venice didn't come and visit?
No. Throw that over to me.
Well, I used to take him out to Fred's for biscuits and gravy. Well, I can't do that anymore. Just too hard to do. And so I just decided I'll take him to him.
Did you molest Denise?
No.
What about Pamby?
No.
Well, I talked to them in depth about it. I read the court transcripts.
And now I'm taking him pancakes.
I read how you'd bring them into your bedroom, ask them to rub your back. You wore no clothes in bed. Then you'd have them lie next to you and you would molest them.
You gonna rub my neck? Can you gonna rub my neck? Can you gonna rub my
Nope. I didn't do it.
So every Sunday now you bring him blueberry pancakes.
Yeah. If I'm not there when he thinks I should be there, then he growls.
You don't remember holding Pamby down, hurting her legs, and her telling you to get off of her?
Nope.
Nobody can hear you scream. Nobody can hear you cry.
You don't remember molesting Janice?
Nope.
June and Jerry?
No, goddammit.
Do you remember giving Jerry and her friends tampons to have sex with them?
No.
Tampon. I mean, that was a good one for him.
You even put Ben Gay on your penis and penetrated Pamby with it. Do you remember doing that?
No.
I still got the scar inside of me.
You burned her physically inside. Why did you do that?
I didn't do that, son of a bitch. Now shut it up. Now.
You gave her a quarter if you were allowed to go a quarter of the way in. 50 cents halfway.
Half away, 50 cents.
$1 all the way.
The full way was $1.
Don't be stupid. I'm going to show you how goddamn able I am to get up out of this wheelchair and knock the dog shit right out of you. You want to see? You want to see that? Huh?
How evil are you?
Do you want to see?
Tell me.
I say, do you want to see?
You put your hands down my mother's panties.
Huh? You what?
You put your hands down my mother's panties. She tried to shoot you with a gun.
Putting his hands in my pajamas.
Oh, come on now.
Down into my panties.
You were beating Grandma. She pulled a rifle out and tried to shoot you, but the gun was not loaded. She made that up, right?
Yeah.
They all made everything up, right?
Yep.
I was 2 years old when I started molesting.
He started to molest me at the age of 5.
Yeah, when I was 3, that's when he started with his penis.
So what if they move? Oh, okay.
When I asked you about that incident that happened with the nurse, you told me that you had nothing to do with it.
Right.
I tried to get Grandpa Just to finally confess to the 1969 murder of the nurse. She was a social worker who'd been assigned to protect the children.
What does it feel like to strangle somebody?
How the hell do I know?
Because you strangled the nurse.
I did not.
Instead, I turned to my family for some answers.
Her name was Josephine. I forget the last name. It was like Spiegel, something like that.
I think she's 5'9", 145 pounds, dark hair, kind of gruff, didn't live by herself. We were told that she wore men's pajamas and smoked a pipe and was on a masculine side.
She kept an itinerary, and the last thing on her schedule, she had been to one house and was on her way to the Just house. She walked in unannounced. They had a bed in the living room, and he was in bed with one of the girls.
And he's laying there with me, all right? And then he goes, "Hey, you." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Go in your room and take a nap." So I went into my room.
We heard screaming and hollering.
She goes, "I am not gonna let you hurt these Benson kids like you hurt your own."
The nurse was going to tell the cops about what was going on with those kids, and he didn't like that idea.
And what would he say?
He would slap her. Just up and slap her.
She tried to leave and he grabbed her. There was kind of a struggle.
And it's like, boom, you better kill me because I'm gonna hurt you.
What did you hear the voice say?
He said he was going to kill her.
Next thing I know is he grabbed the stupid iron of some sort.
He took a fireplace poker and hit her in the head.
And he went, boom, knocked her down, slammed her up against the wall is what I heard. Slammed her up against the wall, boom, I heard the wall, I heard her slam, heard the lace, seen the buttons.
Next thing you know, she ended up on the ground. I started to scream.
I was in my bedroom underneath the bed.
Hiding from it.
Hiding from it.
And I said, fucking shut the door, because he looked at me and goes, shut that fucking door! And he was humping on her. I seen that.
He was killing her and
humping her at the same time.
You actually were screwing her while you were strangling.
Oh, you got knots in your head.
I didn't know he was humping her. I mean, I knew he was humping her, but I didn't know he was killing her. Until the next day when I seen all the blood.
What does that feel like?
I don't know what it feels like to have knots in your head.
He took a polygraph examination and flunked it miserably. And one of the questions was, did you kill the nurse?
Why would they make something like that up?
Don't have any idea.
If you score a -7 on a polygraph examination, you're considered deceptive. That's the word they use. He scored a -16.
Do you remember the police asking you questions about it?
They didn't ask me any questions about it.
He denied and denied and denied, and then at one point near the end of this interview, I asked him about the fireplace poker.
The police never investigated?
Nope.
I know they did. I spoke to the police.
You're lying, or they're lying, one of the two.
And an expression came over his face to me was, how do you know about that?
Do you remember Lonnie Lawson?
Yeah.
And he finally, near the end, he leaned forward in his chair and he slapped himself on the leg. He said, okay, I'm going to tell you. Okay.
I remember Lonnie Lawson.
He scooted forward in the chair, and I knew he was going to, at that point, tell me that he did this.
What did you tell him happened?
Then he said no. No, he threw his hands up, waved them around, and said no, and sat back. And that's all. He didn't say, no, I didn't do it. He said no.
I didn't tell him nothing that happened.
I came back, met with the district attorney's office, presented the case to them, along with a warrant. I wanted to arrest Melvin Just. I felt there's enough evidence to arrest him. I think there is today.
Melvin Just got away with murder They can prove it now. The case is open. They can prove it.
I called Denise and told her I was coming back up there, and she said that he had had a stroke.
Because he's in a nursing home. California would have to extradite him back and pay the cost of his nursing home. They won't do that.
I was going to see for myself what his condition was, and I was stopped from doing that by a neurosurgeon who was treating him and said that he wasn't going to allow the police to interview him.
So at this point, if it can be shown that he is in fact coherent, will he be arrested?
The district attorney's office would have the final say-so, and if I had anything to say about it, I would say that they should issue a warrant for his arrest, file murder charges, issue a warrant, and bring him back to California to stand trial.
Our own murder schemes we couldn't do, which I wish we would have.
Give me an example of one of those schemes.
Melvin Just killed that nurse as sure as I'm sitting here right now. Not a doubt in my mind.
When he came around the door, just make sure we had just the right enough weight to just knock him in the head.
Justice needs to be served.
Shoot him.
I think that after talking to all the different kids that were subject to Melvin Just mistreatment, that I think that would help them.
Tie him up and torture him because of the pain and anguish that we felt.
And I've talked to I can't remember all, 5, 6, 7 kids in this whole thing, and saw what this has done to them. And part of it, I think, that may help them.
Cut his throat.
I wished he could die. Tired of him living.
Poison him with some rat poison in his coffee, because he always make his coffee.
He shouldn't be alive.
Are you afraid to tell me the truth?
No, I ain't afraid to tell you the truth. But you're afraid to learn the goddamn truth.
No, I'd love to learn the truth.
Well, then let's go back to the car. Let's go back to the car, cocksucker. Now.
He was pretty brave calling me a cocksucker. I just wanted to push him off the boardwalk and into the Puget Sound. But instead, I pushed him back to the car because there were others who were already on their way to see him.
Look at how happy can you get? You know, how happy can you get? You get all of us together and go through these problems. I'm happy. No, you're not. She is. No, she's not. We're all happy. I understand. You know the happiest point. We're all happy because we're here and everything is just wonderful. The happiest point, peaceful, and you're yelling in my ear.
He got away with it. And that burns me so much that the truth ends up coming back and you get hurt worse because there was no punishment.
What about me? What about their family that he murdered? Don't we and them have feelings too? I don't care if he's fit or not. Shit, he wasn't fit when he raped me or murdered her.
And each time that I mentioned it to somebody, they said I was crazy.
His last attempt was only 2 years ago on Pamby. She told me about it herself.
My mom stopped attempting suicide a few years ago. I stopped dancing. Denise stopped going to AA, and the girls stopped by to pay somebody a visit.
That's him sitting right there, isn't it?
We'll go, run, Sharon, go.
And that's my daddy. Hi, Daddy.
Hello, sweetheart.
He said he was gonna eat.
We got wild dogs running around. So what's been doing?
Chasing girls.
Oh, yeah? Did you catch any?
Huh?
Did you catch any? You never can catch them?
No.
They run too fast, huh?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Dang it. I don't believe I was ever penetrated by him for the simple reason that when I was 15 and I was engaged, I finally gave my virginity away and I bled after sex. Unlike my little sister who don't ever recall bleeding after she had sex.
Is that what it would have taken for you to consider you were molested, is for him to have penetrated you?
Oh, no. No. Fondalism, it's all molestation. I kept telling you I was on my way, though.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And if nothing else, I just wanted to give you a great big old hug and a kiss. How you like me now?
I love you now.
I love you too. You want?
Yeah, I guess I'll go in.
You will? Go ahead. Nobody's stopping you.
No braces, no crutches, no nothing.
Good. Glad to see you that way, babe.
Glad to see you up and about.
Well, I'm up, but not about.
So you got a room by yourself?
No. Another guy with me.
When is the last time Melvin Just attempted to molest you?
Yeah, look at that.
A couple years ago. He told me he was going to take me out for my birthday, and it ended up that he took me out to the woods. He knew I couldn't run. I had one leg that was fused and one leg that was in a brace. He told me to keep it a secret, but he did pay me.
He did pay you?
He paid me $1 because it went in all the way, but it did hurt.
Hang on. I'm going your way. I can't believe I lower myself so much. I put myself through so much shit just so I can finish this shit out. I mean, life is just not like that. To put back on a shelf to forget my ass. You can only forget so long. Until somebody brings it up or the bottle breaks. Then you have to go clean this shit up. Fuck. It's a piece of shit. And I want to hurt myself because I am. Because I don't know how to release it, and I just keep stuffing it in. It feels like this big bomb inside of me that just wants to explode. I'm ready to go.
He just goes on as though nothing ever happened. Graham and Venice say, "Oh, that's just Melvin." But I'll never let him forget what he did to my mom or to the rest of the family. So why did you molest the children?
I didn't molest the goddamn kids. And if you don't get off that fucking subject, I'm gonna molest you pretty quick.
I never did get off that fucking subject, but I did keep my promise. Although he somehow managed to escape a life in prison, a few months after our last conversation, Melvin just died.
I want to greet all of you here today and let you know we appreciate you being here. And we've come to honor the memory of Melvin Just. Colossians 3:20, children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. It also pleases your parents. And then it will turn around and please you again because they'll treat you nice. You'll do about anything for them. Melvin's first wife, Faye, wishes she could be here. And his second and present wife, Venice, who is here, his three natural daughters, June, Jerry, and Janice. Also, his stepdaughters, Bobby, Denise, Pamby, and Ann, and some of his grandkids, among them is Ron, Clarissa, and Frankie. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Melvin was a terrific mechanic. He loved his cars. He loved to read the Bible and read his Bible cover to cover several times.
Not changed Saturday, but you know what? This is Mel, and I love him very dearly. He's from my heart. He treated me really bad, and he treated me sorrow, and he treated me with respect. And he's my man, and I understand that he's gone, and I'm glad because he's a one of a kind. And I don't care what you say or what anybody else says, but it comes from my heart.
Hey, girl.
And this is where it's at. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it's going.
Right on.
Yes.
Right on. Who was it that came up?
That was Bobby.
That was Bobby. I'm Jerry. I don't know what you know about him or anybody else, but he was a very mean and ugly person to me because he was a child molester and a murderer. But he was cool when he built beach buggies and let us have our fun with down the river, but I would never want to sit on his lap. I'm actually glad he can't hurt nobody else.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerry.
Hey, Dad.
Bless your heart.
And here.
Like there.
There.
Here. God bless you,
And there's
Charlie.
another thing. There's another something I'm going to put in this grave. It's a knife and a piece of super glue, because they're all dickheads.
Please be with them.
Okay.
Now,
Thank you. Is there
let's
any-
drink up.
Give us some good memories. Also, June.
Thank you.
Go
Sorry
ahead,
for my
June.
sisters and the way they're acting. They obviously had too much alcohol. I drink, I control myself, okay? My dad was an awesome man.
That's
He was an awesome man. He had his problems, as does everybody.
sure.
Everybody has their faults. Nobody's perfect. We weren't meant to be perfect. Jesus died on the cross for our sins.
Thank you, Lord, for Melvin. Our friend, the mechanic, we commit to dust. We pray that his memory will always linger with us. We thank you for his memory today.
Does anybody else want to throw dirt on it? Can we just bury him now?
I didn't get a piss on his grave yet.
Ladies, you'll have to behave, please.
At least I didn't say, hey. I had to go ask to get permission to come up and see about having sex or something with him so I can have some tampons. You know, I didn't say that. That was part of my fucking life with him. You know, you had a different relationship than I did.
I think what they should have done to my dad and everybody like him is to take stick off, and super glue it to his forehead because it had nothing but dickheads.
I can't believe I dug my dad's grave, my own dad's grave, and I dug his grave.
It's time to weep, time to laugh, a time to mourn,
Right here,
and a time to dance.
Hey. Well, because who's got the music?
Let's bow together in prayer. Will someone come and kind of control what's happening here?
Supposed to bury him, aren't we?
Blow my nose on the Kotex. Jesus Christ.
June, can I have that bottle?
I think it's a pretty nice memorial right now, don't you?
How about a wish that it stopped raining?
Oh, but no, because you know what? The sun's shining, and if you watch right over here, there should be a rainbow coming right up. See it? See it? I'm telling you, look. It's right there.
I see it.
Yep. You betcha. No, hey. That's God's promise that the earth will never be flooded again. It's in the Bible.
In Jesus' name, and everybody said amen.
Amen.